Alright, this week we are going to get reintroduced to the pen tool in Adobe Illustrator. Here's the thing, a lot of you know Illustrator, some of you more than others, but it's been a long time, 2.5 months since we probably picked this up, maybe more in some cases. So it's a good idea to kind of re-familiarize ourselves with some of these procedures. Now there is a YouTube link here that will walk you through exactly what to do, but I kind of wanted to do one myself to show you how I would go about it. So from this Pen Tool 1 Design Dojo, you're going to download this file, and I'll show you guys how to download it on Monday. Once it's downloaded, we're going to need to open Illustrator, which I think 99%, 100% of the class already has access to. We're going to go to File, Open, or Control O. It'll be in your downloads, so go to your downloads, click on it, and open. The only tool that we're going to use for this will be the pen tool. You can see that Dr. Cermak has set up a few layers here, and we've got one called Draw here. We've got a few locked down. So if I hold the spacebar down, click, hold, and drag, I can kind of maneuver the artboard. The point here is we're going to work our way up to the top, starting very simple with a sawtooth edge and then a rounded edge, all the way up to a shark. So let me go ahead, I'm going to hit Control plus, zoom in a little bit. Get the pen tool. Now be careful, there's two tools that look incredibly similar. There's the pen tool and there's the curvature tool. I don't use the curvature tool too much. A lot of students do. It's pretty good for what it is, but for this you are going to want to use the pen tool. So let's go ahead and access that. And before I go any further, one thing that I'm going to want to do is make sure that my fill is set to nothing and the stroke is set to, I'm going to choose magenta. For those of you that had me for Design 1, you know that magenta is a color that I use a lot. Not because I like it, but because it really shows up well against the artboard. Now, if this was a magenta artboard, I would choose a different color for contrast, but in this case, I think it'll work just fine. Alright, I'll go ahead and click off of that palette. So, what we're doing here is we're following the anchor points. Those little blue dots are the anchor points. So the first one's pretty easy. I'll just click once. Now, much like Spider-Man's webbing, it's sticky, so if I click again, I click again, and I'm just clicking on the anchor points. Now you will make mistakes, and that's fine. I want you to make mistakes because I want to show you how to correct these. I'll click again to end the path. Now it's sticky, so to break this path I'll just hit Enter or P, and that will break that path. This is your selection tool. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. I'm going to select this path, and I'm going to up the stroke weight so I can see it a bit better. Alright, that's a pretty decent path. Now let's say that I made a mistake. I'm going to click on it and hit delete. Get my pen tool back. Let's say that I clicked here, I clicked up here, I accidentally clicked, held, and drag, which we'll get to, Bezier path, here, over here, here, and here. I'll hit enter to break that path. How do I fix mistakes? You could start over, or you could be smart about it and just alter where your anchor points land. For that, you're going to use the white arrow, which is called the direct select. A lot of students get confused between the selection tool and the direct select. The difference is the selection tool will select the entire element. So if I wanted to move the entire shape, I could. If I wanted to rotate it, I could. If I wanted to squeeze it and stretch it, I could. The direct select will select individual anchor points. So what I can do now is click on an anchor point that I've already made. I can click, hold, and drag and kind of move this into place. Click on this anchor point, move it into place. This one's going to take a little bit more massaging, so I'll leave that for a moment. Click this anchor point, move it into place. Alright, it looks pretty good except for this one right here. Now I need a different tool for this. I have a Bezier path, which I'm going to get to right here. To convert a Bezier to a linear path, what you're going to do is underneath your pen tool is the anchor point tool. An anchor point will turn a Bezier or a rounded edge to a hard edge. So if I just click on it once, it snaps right to it. Alright, let's move on to some Bezier paths. Click and hold for my pen tool. For this, what I'm going to want to do is click, hold, and drag. Now you're going to have some handles. I haven't let go yet. Think of it as a teeter-totter. And what happens is when you hold this, you create influence. So I'm going to keep holding and move this teeter-totter up to this node right here and let go. My next point, I'm going to click, hold, and drag and move down to this point. I'm going to continue, click, hold, and drag. Now, a lot of people will be like, do I go this way? It's okay if you make a mistake. In fact, I'll go ahead and make this mistake. And I'll click, hold, and drag here. So the first parts worked out pretty well. I'll hit enter to break that path. Now I need to fix this. Again, I can go back to the direct select tool, and I can, almost like untying shoes, I can click, hold, and drag, grab those teeter-totter handles, and massage that back into place. This one also is broke, so I can grab that handle, click, hold, and drag until I have it right. Looks like 3 shark fins. So how are we going to go about this? Get the pen tool. I'm going to click once. I'm going to click, hold, and drag right up to here. But I have a problem. The next point that I make is going to look like this. So how can I quickly break a handle? What you're going to want to do is hold down the Alt key, click and hold, over to here. Now, again, I made a mistake, so I'll let go, click once, I can hold down that Alt key to break that, and let go. Now mine's a mess, so I'm going to fix it. So I'll hit enter to break that path. And now it's time to go back to the direct select tool and probably the anchor point tool to fix this. So where am I at here? What I need to do is hold down the Alt key. Right there. That looks good. Click once. Let's see where these handles are. Looks pretty good. This one's kind of a mess. Let's see where it went wrong. Click on the anchor point. That part looks pretty good. It's this handle right here that's the problem, the top one. So I'll hold down the Alt key. Actually, it might be this one. I'm holding down the Alt key to smooth that into spot. Click this handle here. And I can pull this Bezier down. Until I get a nice smooth edge. So I'm going to take my time, work my way around it until I have a nice accurate representation of the graphic below. The rest of these I'm going to let YouTube dictate. If you need help, just let us know. But that's what's due for exercise 1. Exercise 2 is going to be a similar worksheet, again, to reinforce pen tool strategies.